Hello and welcome to Video Revealed. I'm Colin Smith. The time has finally come. This is REMIX in Adobe Premiere Pro. All right, REMIX is a way to easily change the duration of music without changing its pitch, with having control over all the different parts. It was originally introduced in Adobe Audition quite a while ago, and Audition does an amazing job. I'll have a link to my tutorial on that. The Premiere Pro version is simpler, easy to use, but just as effective. Let's look at our first example because I've got lots of examples because that's what this is about. Does it work once? Oh, of course. How does it work with different music, with different clips? So let's look at the first one where I've got an audio clip, a song that's way too long, but I want to make it short and fit. All right, let's have a look. So if I zoom out, you can see my audio file goes all the way to the end. I only need music to hear. And typically you could just trim the music, but if you trim it, it just ends. That's really lame. Or you put a fade on it. That's okay, but why not use the power of REMIX? So we can get to REMIX in several different ways. The first way is to click on this tool, click and hold, and you'll see with our regular editing tools, trimming tools, we've got REMIX down here on the bottom. And it has a special look to it. It's got a little music note to it. And all you have to do is grab the edge of the clip. And if you can't grab, then click somewhere else. Oops. Now, I even dragged a little bit further. So in this example, I dragged it further, which you can do. I mean, you could take a 3.5-minute song and make it 90 minutes if you want. I actually want to make this shorter. So I'll drag the end to here, and let's zoom in, and we'll see what happens. So at the beginning, and honestly, you won't be able to tell anywhere that this is cut. And if I go further, right there, see these squiggly lines that are here, those are cuts, but they're seamless cuts. You won't notice a difference in sound or tempo. And here's another cut. It's freaking magic. There is a cut, but you don't hear it because REMIX understands tempo, it understands the beats, it analyzes it, and when it meshes it together, it blends it so you don't hear that. Again here. And there it finally trails off. Now that repeating of the guitar strumming and the strings, that's in the composition. REMIX didn't change that. That's the way the song was written. But if I didn't have to stop and explain it, I just grab the end and drag it back. So for professionals that just need a temp track, you know what you normally do. You stick a temp track in, you chop things up, you time the beat, you put it in dissolves, now drop, let it go. Okay, let's keep going here. Let's go to our hoops boys. We got some guys with hoops. All right, so I've got to move this all the way to the edge. Another way that you can turn on and off REMIX is right-clicking and enabling REMIX. You can go to the REMIX properties or revert REMIX. And when you enable REMIX, it brings up the essential sound panel. And you'll see an analysis, and the analysis down here is also happening on the clip. So if you have tried REMIX in a previous version, because it was introduced in a previous version, you didn't get that timing on the clip. And it was confusing for some people because they didn't look at the essential panel, which is flashing. It's like, we're doing something. Now that we're doing something, it's right on the clip. Okay, so I'll drag the edge. And this time I'll look over here in the Essential panel, which comes up automatically. So you can change the duration by stretching or remix. You can set a target duration, and you'll see it here. It says plus or minus 5 seconds. When you are stretching a duration, don't always expect it to end on the exact frame, because a music has a tempo, and the math of that tempo, how many bars can it have, will end evenly. So it has to have the even number of bars. And sometimes that doesn't fit exactly. So it'll be off or on a little bit, which is expected. So there's our target duration. There's our remix duration. So it's showing you it's a little bit different. If we open up the customization, we have 2 choices, and we can go to segments, adjust your remix by using more or fewer edits. So all of those lines in there, all those cuts, those are segments. And right now the value is in the middle. If you turn that up, watch what happens. Oh, on this one, nothing. Let's turn it down and we'll see fewer segments. So now you can see fewer segments. And then the bottom is it adjusts the focus on different elements of the song when creating edits. So if this is a fairly even background, ambient kind of music, that won't make much difference. But let's turn segments all the way up, and let's turn variations all the way up. And you can see the beginning, there's not much difference there. That's all the same clip. But if we go over to where the cuts are happening, so they're all pretty much that same theme, the big epic string theme. Let's go to the end here. And see if this is the end here. So it's got us to the end part here. All right, let's try another example. No remix on this. So we do have several different parts in this song. So we've got this opening acoustic guitar, and then it cuts to some vocals, and then back at the end. Similar to the beginning. So let's trim this. Let's remix this and see what the segments are. See what it comes up with. All right, so only 2 segments where it's keeping the song about the same length. Here's the only cuts. And then here. So it's almost like this song was perfectly written for the cuts in the video. But let's change this a bit. So let's open this up. And okay, this is a sticky setting. So whatever I set before on a different clip, it's going to keep it there. So if we go back to the beginning, the default, which is 5 and 5, let's see what happens. So there's a bit of an intro difference here. And then the difference here. And the rest plays out. So let's say we want more variations, because remember, there's a lot of variations and we want lots of segments in here. And that's it. Wow. It's, let's say no segments or fewer segments. It's not much of a difference in here. So you're not always going to see some differences. One more example. Let's go to this guy. And I'll drag this out. Let's working on it. It actually plays while it's working it out. Let's do the default, 5 and 5. So here are the segments, the cuts. Let's listen to the ending. So here's the ending is not appropriate. It's ending there and I still have that guy riding off. So I could cut the riding clip, or let's stretch this out just a little bit and see what happens. You see when it comes back like that? That's because there's not enough room to have a count, because this is a really slow tempo. There's not enough room for another bar. So let's drag this out a little further and see what happens. All right, so that's how far I've got to go. So, not perfect, but let's try another one. I drag this out. Again, we're on our default 5 and 5. All right, here's a cut. You can't tell there's a cut. Okay, so that's another one. Let's try this guy down here. Same thing. Drag him out. I'm just holding my the Alt key on Windows, Option on Mac, scroll wheel to change the size of those. All right, let's hear the beginning of this one. When you're up against the wall and you cannot fall, so go off, go off, go off. Let's see the ending of this. Okay, just like before, it's ending a little later. Let's say more segments, more variations. And you see how it changed that. Whoa! Let's watch that again. Holy smokes, that was... Wow, I did not plan that. That just shows you that sometimes you can have fun with Remix. All right, now let's do something really hard. I'm going to take the first clip that I tried, and I want to put it on something really, really short. Okay, so I've got this really short cut of the same clips. It's something really short, okay? Here we go. Oh, where are we? Pretty good. Let's try some variations. How about more segments? You see how it pushed that out? Watch that. So in this example, more segments means a longer duration. How about fewer segments? Whoop. It didn't change the duration at all. So let's go back to 5 and maybe fewer variations. That didn't change. More variations? Again, it's a little further. So let's leave this on 10, but take this down a little bit. Oh, it doesn't want to go. More variations. All right. I think you get the idea. So if you're doing this stuff with like ambient backgrounds that are just like a wash of sound, REMIX is going to be perfect. You can just drag it out 10 minutes, 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and it will make that file. You could export this. So if you lock into something you really like, hit an in and out point on that. In, out, and then send that out. Export that out as an uncompressed WAV file, and then bring that back in, just in case a setting gets changed, because all of this is live. If you change one of those settings, it'll change that clip. You can get back to it by picking the clip, picking the start point, and picking the remix numbers. It's going to be exactly the same. And you can always just right-click on something, remix, disable remix, and then it's going to go back to the full duration of the clip itself. It doesn't affect the original clip in the bin, so you could have the same clip from the bin in 4 or 5 places, each with different remix settings. Oh, you can also do this. I almost forgot. Very important. Let me just bring this down here just so we can look at a clean version of this. All right, so let's say I like up to here. What I can do is I can cut this, leave that, and then remix that. So the start won't be changed. I found that sometimes I like remix most of the time, but occasionally I just want the ending to be remixed in its duration, but I don't want the intro or the beginning to be messed around. And I found that the segments or the variations was fighting with what I like to keep. You like to keep, chop, and then remix the rest, or remix the middle, or do whatever you want. So go nuts, have fun. I wanted to show you it's there. It's really, really useful. And don't be discouraged if you don't get the exact settings. Keep playing with this, with the segments and the variations and the duration until you finally get what you want. Hey, if you're new to Video Revealed and you found this informative, take a moment and subscribe. You want to support us some more, you can do that like our many wonderful donors. You know who you are. Thank you very much. You can do that on VideoRevealed.com/shop. Donate once, donate monthly, any amount. There's free stuff, there's a member section, there's tons of great things that you can download. Till next time, I'm Colin Smith, and it's my job to get all excited and show you how you can use the new amazing tools coming from Adobe.